This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
This for us is actually even greater than the killing of Osama bin Laden.
You have to eliminate all of these departments that teach intersectionality, DEI, gender studies, ethnic studies. These are all incubators for anti-Semitism.
Your house is on fire! Your house is on fire!
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. The leader of Hamas is dead.
Very, very significant for Israelis. It's the closing of a circle, attainment of justice.
With details on what happened, here's CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's just announced Israel killed senior Hamas leader Mohammed Sinwar in a recent airstrike in Gaza. He is or was the brother of Yahya Sinwar, a mastermind of the October 7th attack, who was killed by Israeli forces last year. Mohammed Sinwar, believed to have succeeded Yahya as the leader of Hamas in Gaza.
Former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren, says October 7th was America's 9/11.
Proportionally, we lost 1,200 people on October 7th, massacred, beheaded, raped, burnt by Sinwar and his barbarous Hamas terrorists. 252 of our fellow citizens taken into unspeakable captivity. Proportionally, that would be the equivalent of about 40,000 Americans. Can you imagine 40,000 Americans being killed in a single morning? This would be 9/11 magnified 10 times over at least. So this for us is actually even greater than the killing of Osama bin Laden. So it's that closure.
Hamas left without its top leader in the war in Gaza. Desert deadlock. President Trump has asked Israel to hold off on striking Iran until nuclear talks yield progress.
We're having very good discussions with them, and I said I don't think it's appropriate right now. Because if we can settle it with a very strong document, very strong, I want it very strong where we can go in with inspectors, we can take whatever we want.
President Trump speaking with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. It is the next chapter of the war against anti-Semitism on college campuses. The Trump administration announced today it's pausing all interviews for foreign student visa holders while they vet them. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
Will it be in time to enable everyone who's been accepted at a U.S. university for the fall to actually get their visas and get here to the United States?
Nearly 30% of students at Harvard University are from other countries. Harvard says it's being punished for pursuing academic freedom.
Students gathered on Harvard's campus last night, protesting the Trump administration's treatment of the Ivy League school. History is on our side. And rallying in support of international students whose education here is in jeopardy.
Alan Dershowitz is a retired Harvard law professor. He was asked what it will take to change the tide at schools like Harvard that teach anti-Semitism in their classrooms.
It's going to take an enormous amount of effort. First of all, you have to get back to meritocracy, where people are selected for faculty and student positions based on their merits, broadly defined. Second, you have to eliminate all of these departments that teach intersectionality, DEI, gender studies, ethnic studies. These are all incubators for anti-Semitism.
He told Fox News some of the most violent college protests are rooted in who we bring to the U.S. and what they're taught in classrooms right here in the U.S. of A.
Some of these departments, like the Divinity School and the Public Health School, are rotten to the core. They have to be essentially monitored to make sure that they're not teaching and preaching anti-Semitism. It's not only tolerating anti-Semitism, it's teaching it and rewarding it. And that's what's going on today on many college campuses.
President Trump said it'll be revealed soon if Russian President Putin wants to end the war in Ukraine. Speaking from the Oval Office this afternoon, Trump said we'll know, quote, in about 2 weeks if Putin is tapping us along or if he's serious about actually signing a peace agreement in the war in Ukraine. There's a massive manhunt underway in the mountains of Arkansas for the devil in the Ozarks, an escaped murderer who also happens to be a former small-town police chief. Folks in the town of Calico Rock, where the prison is located, are nervous.
Everybody's hunked down. I think it kind of spooked some people.
CBS's Ian Lee.
They're throwing everything they have at this search. We know there's dogs, there's drones, there's helicopters.
Grant Hardin escaped over the weekend by dressing as a corrections officer. A former Fox News host is Washington, D.C.'s new U.S. attorney. At a swearing-in ceremony today, Donald Trump praised Jeanine Pirro's work on behalf of crime victims while she served as a district attorney in New York. And a test flight of the SpaceX Starship rocket was unsuccessful last night. The mega rocket is the biggest and most powerful rocket ever built.
They've got to get this spacecraft operating successfully.
Space consultant Bill Harwood says a fuel leak caused the Starship to disintegrate over the Indian Ocean.
I have no doubt they'll be back to flying soon. They'll have lots of telemetry from this flight. They'll figure out what went wrong. They'll implement fixes to make sure it doesn't happen again. And then they'll try again. I mean, that's the way they test.
NBC's Tom Costello.
What they're trying to do is something that's never been done before, taking the biggest rocket ever engineered and reusing it multiple times to one day take humans back to the moon and perhaps all the way to Mars.
The Starship rocket is a crucial part in SpaceX's long-term plans for colonizing Mars. NASA is counting on it to land mankind back on the moon by 2027. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, we're watching some storms moving through New York and Pennsylvania at this hour. 900 jobs for Western New York, and a closer look at the bell-to-bell cell phone ban in the Empire State after weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. It's going to be cloudy tonight with showers. Those showers will be diminishing over any rumbles of thunder fade, and low temps in the 50s. So tomorrow, a lot of cloud cover, a couple of scattered showers, a lot of rain-free time though. High temps, mid-60s to low 70s. Friday, clouds, sunny breaks, a stray shower, and high temperatures not far from 70.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories, making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. The rain out there is the real deal. Today, school districts are canceling or postponing graduation ceremonies this evening because of it. Mifflin High in Pennsylvania just canceled with hours' notice. Stronger storms are nearing Ithaca, Lock Haven, and Altoona at this hour, but no warnings or alerts out. Job break. General Motors has just announced it's investing $888 million at a Western New York engine plant. It will support 900 jobs. Raymond Jensen Jr. is the UAW Region 9 Assistant Director.
It's job security. It's not having to worry about the future, knowing that they're going to have a place to come to work. And this is just a testament to their hard work.
Jensen says the union did a great job behind the scenes protecting the workforce at GM in Western New York.
To the entire executive board at 774, they've all been working tirelessly along with the UAW to make sure that Tonawanda has work for the future. And now it seems that they're going to have work for the very long future.
That plant in Tonawanda will produce a new version of V8 engines for its full-size trucks and SUVs. Pennsylvania State Police have released the stats from Memorial Day driving. They say over the three-day holiday, there were 756 crashes, 140 people injured, 5 dead. 57 crashes involved drunk driving. Police issued 27,000 tickets statewide, most for speeding. This fall, New York becomes just the 4th state in the nation to enact a bell-to-bell cell phone ban at all schools statewide. Jennifer Granville at Greece Central School near Rochester.
It's a change for the students, and they don't obviously adapt too well to change, but we're getting into the flow now.
Walk-through body scanners will be able to detect if kids are carrying a cell phone. School districts across the state must submit on their websites by August 1st how they plan to implement the bell-to-bell cell phone ban. Next at 5, a discussion on loneliness with our own Martha Manikas Foster and focus on the family therapist Glenn Letchins. Let's listen in.
Let's talk about loneliness. Physically, we're learning that it's connected with greater risk of heart disease, dementia, stroke, depression, anxiety, and even premature death. But not all people who feel lonely are physically isolated. Could you please paint that picture for us of some of the life situations where people find that they feel lonely?
Yeah, in many ways, loneliness is more a state of heart, a state of mind. I use state of heart because it's kind of what's going on inside me. And a lot of that has to do with how I feel about myself, that we do tend to view it as an absence of connection, and that certainly is there. But it can factor in deeper and fuller ways depending upon the type of loneliness that people may be encountering in their lives.
So type of loneliness?
Yeah, there are different types of loneliness, I think. I mean, one would be that isolation loneliness, where in its most severe cases, you're talking about somebody stranded on a desert island. There's also situational loneliness. And situational loneliness really speaks to the fact that there has been connection before. But now, for some reason, there's something that's come into play where that connection with a person or a group of people has changed. Maybe it's where someone has moved away. Maybe there's been a death or a divorce.
Right.
Developmental loneliness, this really develops in a person who has never developed that ability to connect well with other people. Maybe it's because a person has experienced rejection, bullying, abuse in their life. And then you get kind of a cultural loneliness, which is fostered by the attitudes of our culture, some of the technology of our culture, where we have cell phones that can connect us theoretically to people, but they leave it about, a quarter of an inch deep and a mile wide. Right. So there's not much sense of really connecting. And the last one would be existential loneliness. Desiring to be connected to the ultimate purpose giver, the ultimate reality, God himself.
We have another 5 minutes of this interview with Focus on the Family's Glenn Letchins online. You can subscribe, listen to, and share Inside Out and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
100 years from now, no one is going to remember how many possessions you had. Hi, I'm Rob West with another Faith and Finance Minute. God wants us to enjoy life, but someday the life will be over. As the Apostle James said, you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. So, what are you going to do with the time you have left? You could pour your life into acquiring things, but you can't take them with you. You could strive to make a name for yourself, even become famous, but that doesn't last either. Or you could invest your time and your resources in things that have eternal value. As British missionary C.T. Studd wrote more than a century ago, only one life will soon be past. Only what's done for Christ will last. Connect with a certified Kingdom advisor who's been trained to deliver financial advice that aligns with your Christian values by visiting our website, faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, it was not the prom that they planned. We'll tell you what happened to 4 teenagers after the dancing was over in upstate New York. Their story all over the national news networks today. That's next after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Well, another showery, cool system crossing the area tonight, reminding us that we haven't fully broken out of this pattern of cool, damp May weather, but that's going to change. The month of June is going to have several opportunities to savor, enjoy, or at least experience some summer heat and dryness. But in the meantime, it's going to be cloudy tonight with showers. Those showers will be diminishing overnight. Any rumbles of thunder fade, and low temps in the 50s. So tomorrow, a lot of cloud cover, a couple of scattered showers, a lot of rain-free time, though. High temps, mid-60s to low 70s. Friday, clouds, sunny breaks, a stray shower, and high temperatures not far from 70.
Thank you, Kevin. Finally, at 5, a family was rescued from a roaring house fire in upstate New York, all thanks to the help of a group of 4 teenagers on prom night.
Your house is on fire! Your house is on fire! It's on fire! You guys gotta get out. Yo, get out. Come on, get out. You guys, it's okay. Just you guys gotta get out.
High school junior Aiden Kane said they had just left their prom at Whitesboro High School in Marcy, New York, when they noticed an orange glow in the sky.
We thought it was like a bonfire because it was prom night.
As the teens got closer, though, they saw a garage engulfed in flames.
As soon as we jumped out of the car, I called 911 instantly.
They banged on the door, kids opened it, and followed the teens outside.
You're okay. You're okay. Yo, stand behind your car. Stand behind your car.
The fire chief says if they didn't get everyone out, it may have been 3 or 4 more minutes before they got there, and the home would have been engulfed in flames. Every single person inside survived. Saving people is in Aiden's DNA.
My dad has worked for both EMS and police department for basically all his life. I've been on several calls with him because he was the chief of EMS, and seeing him doing it kind of inspired me to help out the family.
A family saved by the bravery of 4 teenagers in New York. And that's the world that we live in for Wednesday, May 28th. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.